Genaro Martinez, owner of RRJ Heating Air Conditioning. We are going to electronically align this pump and this motor using RRJ's ePump alignment toolkit. This is the toolkit we're going to use to perform the alignment. Notice the removable couplings. These couplings are used to accommodate different shaft sizes. This particular toolkit will accommodate shaft sizes between 1 and 2 inches. We can accommodate any shaft size, so just talk to us about your need. We are going to do a digital alignment, so we're going to use these USB cables that connect directly to these digital dials. The key to our precision alignment is that both dials are mounted to the shaft simultaneously, and then the dials are connected to a computer where a computer program developed by our software engineers does the alignment for you. Okay, we've mounted the toolkit onto the shafts. Now we're going to get to the computer program here in a second, but let me go over here. It's going to require some measurements. It's going to want to know the distance from the rear foot of the motor to the front foot of the motor, and it's going to want to know the distance from the front foot of this motor to the dial closest to the motor, which we call the motor dial. It's going to want this distance, and then it's going to want the distance from the motor dial to the pump dial, from this distance to this distance. So with using a measuring tape, you want to be within 1/16 of an inch, and you're going to enter that to the computer program that I'm going to show you here in a second. But before I do that, this is the home position. You're going to start at this position before you begin the alignment. There's a button on the display where you're going to zero the dials. You do not touch the dials. You're going to do all the alignment from the front panel of your computer program. Okay, this is the front panel of the display that you'll be working from. We've already entered the distances that we spoke of earlier. This is the distance from the rear foot to the front foot of the motor. It's 10 inches. From the front foot to the first dial is 5.5 inches. And between the dials is 6 3/8 inches. Now all of this is in inches, and the results you're going to get is in thousandths of an inch here. Now we're at the home position. I'm going to press this button right here, and I'm going to zero the dials here. So watch this. I'm going to go ahead and press the button, and it zeroed these two dials. Notice the measurement, and right now it's at 0, 0. We're going to go over here and we're going to turn that fixture 180 degrees. Now before we do that, there's some options here on the program where you can actually log your results, and you can, or you don't have to, enter some headings here for the spreadsheet that you're going to create. I went ahead and entered some data here, but it's not required. But there is an option here where you can actually log all your results to a spreadsheet for future use. Now let's go over here and take a look at this. We've actually zeroed the dials. You'll notice there's 0 here. I'm going to turn this 180 degrees. We're going to turn it 180 degrees. Okay, and we're going to come back over here to the computer program, and notice what it's telling me here. It wants the front motor shims. It wants me to reduce 30 thousandths or remove 30 thousandths shims from the front feet, and it wants me to remove 45 thousandths shims from the rear feet. Negative number means to remove, positive number means to add. So I removed the shims that the computer program told me to from the rear feet and from the front feet. Then I went back and I homed again. I went up here, I homed with the pump dial on top, and then I zeroed the dials, and then I go back and I turn the dials again, going perpendicular here. And then if you go back over here, you look at the computer program now, it says that the rear shims are perfectly aligned and the front shims is within 1/1000th. And remember, our criteria is 2/1000ths of an inch. Okay, now one thing to say about here, let's zoom in over here. Now, the reading that you get is going to depend on the torque that you put on these bolts here when you do this, okay? So just keep that in mind. You want to be consistent there. All right, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to do horizontal alignment. To do horizontal alignment, you want to be in this home position where the pump dial is away from you and the motor dial is towards you, and then you're going to follow the same scheme. You're going to come over here and you're going to zero the dials. Let's zero them. Okay, then you turn 180 degrees. Okay, so now look at this. The rear feet is 162 thousandths. Now a positive number with the pump dial on the right side and the motor dial on the left is a positive number, means you got to move the motor away from you 162 thousandths on the rear and away from you 78 thousandths from the front feet. So let's do that here and then we'll come back. We did the horizontal alignment and then I went back and checked the vertical alignment. So let's go back to horizontal in a minute after I show you this. I went back to vertical alignment. Let's go over here where I go up and down here. I zero the dials, flipped it over and come over here. I'm still within a thousandth of an inch here, so well within our criteria. And then I went back over here. Let's go over here. When I was doing the horizontal alignment, I was zeroing the dials in this position right here, okay? And then I was turning this over with the pump dial towards me, okay? And I was doing that, I was reading the display. Let's come over here to the display here. Notice that I'm in 1,000 and minus 2,000, so well within my criteria now. But what I was doing here, let's come over here, is I was actually looking at the display and I was moving the motor. Okay, so I was moving the motor this way. I went too far and then it came back and I could look at the display and then I torque it down. So when you're doing the alignment, you want to do vertical first so that you have the right shim values. And then when you're doing horizontal alignment, you don't have to torque the bolts down. You position your motor. When you get to where you want to be, then you torque down the bolts, which I've already done. So I'm now vertically and horizontally precision aligned, and it was so quick and so simple. Within a few minutes, I knew what my alignment was. Let's come over here to the display. I knew what my alignment was. I knew what I had to do, and I went and did it. It was that quick and that simple and that deadly accurate. Now let me show you one final thing here before we close. So I've got help instructions here. They're available on the web and they're available right here. You just hit the help button and it talks about vertical alignment and it also talks about horizontal alignment. So if you forget how to align, you can go to the help button and get some help here. The other thing here I didn't show here is as you're working, you can log vertical as you're doing your vertical alignment, and then you can log horizontal as you're doing your horizontal alignment, and a spreadsheet is created. Go to the website, it talks about it. So the spreadsheet is automatic. You can open it up and you can open it with Excel, you can open it with Word, you can open it with Notepad, whatever, and then it'll read your results. It timestamps the date and whatever heading that you picked. I hope that you got something out of this demonstration. We demonstrated a precision alignment using our tool that is deadly accurate, fully automated, computer controlled, very simple to use, very inexpensive approach here to making sure that your motor and pump are perfectly aligned to prevent premature wear of your mechanical seals and your bearings. Please visit our website for more information. Thank you.